opening. These are the days of your opening. So, a deep, dark secret is something that lives way down inside of you and is hard to tell the truth about, even to yourself. And with a deep, dark secret, there's often a hope that it will never come to the surface, that you will never have to navigate through life with this deep, dark secret being obvious to others, and that others that you love may never have to navigate through life with this secret being obvious to others. What I'd like to talk to you about today is a deep, bright secret. Because I believe that every one of us has inside of us, I think we're all born with this, it comes with the equipment, the ability to connect with other human beings on a deep and profound and very real and very connective level. And in the spirit of talking about collaboration, I'd like to talk about that place that's inside of each one of you. I'm guessing that every one of you at some point have been part of a collaboration that did not feel great, that involved a lot of pushing and pulling, lots of different people with different agendas in mind, finding it difficult to listen to each other. Maybe you're tuning out other people while you're thinking about what you want to do next. And the finished product and the finished experience of having a collaboration like this often doesn't feel very good, doesn't work very well. It's kind of like comes out sort of limp or off or disappointing. But I'm guessing that everybody here at some point has had an experience of collaborating that has taken your breath away. That experience where you show up for a group and you find that a version of yourself that is absolutely incredible, even to you, is available to these other people, and that there's like a portal inside of you that's drawing out of the other people the best of who they are too, and that the experience of what gets created, what you're doing, what someone else is putting on top of that, and what someone else is putting on top of that, is literally transporting. And that what gets created is something that none of the individuals involved would have or could have created all by themselves. So I want to talk about that kind of collaboration, because that's what we're all shooting for secretly, I think. And so to talk about that, I want to share a deep, bright secret that I have come to discover over my 20 years of studying the dynamics of stuckness and flow. And to share this secret with you, I have to share a weird little premise that I'm sure some of you might think is a little too strange to buy into, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with it, but I do invite you to just try it on for size for a moment while I'm putting it out there. So as I'm looking around the room, it looks like we have a bunch of chairs, and in each chair is one person. But what I believe, and here's this weird premise, roll with it or not as you see fit, is that actually in each of these chairs, each one of you has inside of you dozens, maybe even hundreds of different beings, different personalities, different energies, parts of yourself that are stuck at the age of 5, parts of yourself that are frustrated or angry or confused, parts of you that are nagging at you that you're trying to block out the voices of, and beautiful parts of you that are brilliant and connective and filled with light, some of which are very shy and don't know how to come forward, and others of which you see little glimpses of from time to time. And they're amazing, they're magical, they're really, truly wonderful parts of who you are. Probably all of you have the experience, conscious or not, of blocking out some of the voices that you hear inside of yourself. And maybe also you have the experience from time to time of over-favoring one of these parts that just shows up maybe a little bit more than would be actually helpful, but there it is, pushing its way up to the front. So I believe, if you buy into that premise for a second, that there's a thought, a deep, bright, secret thought that could be really valuable to you. And here's the secret. I believe that the degree to which you decide to become conscious of these voices and beings inside of you, the degree to which you decide to be inclusive, to listen to them, to invite them inside of you, to sit into something that looks closer to like a kumbaya, I can say that because we're UUs, kumbaya circle, as opposed to a crowded bus station of a bunch of different parts that all have their agenda and they're trying to get where they're trying to go. I believe that the extent to which you consciously decide to begin having a collaborative relationship with all of these parts inside of you is the exact degree to which you can experience and create experiences out in the world that are collaborative in that magical kind of way. That if you are willing to be collaborative with yourself on the inside, to listen a little differently to those voices, to pay attention to who needs what and try to help them get it and let them sit back down so the good guys can come shooting forward. The extent to which you do that has everything to do with what you are able to create and discover and to find in terms of wonderment in the world. Now, how do you do that? That is not actually the subject of a 10-minute talk. That's more like a book. I can't really go into the great detail of that in this talk, but what I can say is I think it's really my mission in this life to go around planting the seed, this idea, this very basic idea, that you do have all these parts inside of you and that they are worth listening to and collaborating with. So if I've planted the seed, even if I'm not taking you through all the many ways that you could go about doing this, then you might start thinking to yourself, what would I look like if I was paying more attention to those voices? How would I show up? What groups would I be in? How would I invite and connect with other people if I were more attuned to the full range of all the voices worth collaborating with inside of myself? So I invite you to sort of hang on to that question. And I'd like to try to leave you, in a way, with 3 very specific things that could be helpful. They aren't the great big answer of how to handle all of those pieces, but there are 3 things that you could do the next time you're collaborating with anybody, with any group or any one person that you love, or hint, hint, the next time you're collaborating internally, because you're checking in with these voices. So to give you these 3 little party favors or takeaway ideas, I'm actually going to present them to you in the form of a song. But to tee up this song, I would like you to know the story behind how this song came to be that I'm going to share with you. And the story goes a little something like this. A few years ago, a woman named Marie came to me and she said, I hear that you write songs for people sometimes, and I wonder if you would be willing to write a song for my funeral, which is supposed to happen in approximately 18 months or maybe less. And I said, yeah, we could do that. What do you want to say? And so she shared with me that she had cancer, and that she had had cancer once before, about 2 or 3 years earlier. And the first time she had breast cancer, and she had this, what I would think of as kind of like a super non-collaborative response to getting cancer. She said, I don't want to have cancer. I don't want anybody to say the word cancer. I don't want to belong to a cancer support group. I want a surgeon who will come in here and remove the offending piece and take it away, and I would like to get back to my life exactly as it was before. And she did that, and it worked, and she got herself a few years. But then she got cancer again, and this time she got it in another part of her body, and she got it in a pretty serious way. And she said to me, I have this feeling that maybe there's a different way to be with this. Maybe there's a different way for me to show up with and for this experience. And she said, the reason that I'm thinking this is that for some reason this time I'm looking all around me and I'm seeing beauty everywhere. Everywhere. And she said, and as people are approaching me to talk about the cancer, I'm not pushing them away. I'm seeing love moving toward me. And she said, I don't know what's going on, but something is waking up inside of me. It's almost as if there's this grand coming together of many different perspectives inside of me, and it's incredible. And I don't want to lose this. I want to capture this. Yes, I'd like to get well. Yes, I'd like to beat this, but not at the expense of losing this. I want to know what this is. I want to capture it in song, and I want to leave it behind for people because I think it's something important. I think something is happening. So we wrote that song, and in a few moments I'll be playing it for you. I did play it at her funeral. I played it at her funeral in December, and it was hard to do. It was the last song as everybody was leaving the room, and I did a great job with it. Somehow I pulled it off, I think, just to be a little humble. I played that song, but what I want you to know is I played that song almost a decade after we wrote it. Marie outlived every doctor's expectation of how long she would live. She kept switching doctors, they kept giving her numbers, and she kept beating it. Marie outlived almost every single person in almost every single support group that she joined. She was sought after by NPR to sit on panels and talk about what it's like to live exuberantly with stage 4 cancer. It was an incredible thing to be in her presence, and when she wasn't able to get up out of her bed anymore, she started blogging, and first it was a handful of people, and then it was more, and it was more, and soon it was 1,000 people that were sitting around waiting to hear what somebody who was so wide awake had to say. And so I really think her song speaks for itself, but I'm still going to keep on talking anyway and say a few more things. As I said, I want to leave you with 3 ideas of practical things that you could do the next time you're entering into a collaboration in here or out there. So there are 3 words that you'll hear repeated often in this song, and one of those words is open, the word open. Obviously, if you're going to be a good collaborator, you have to be open to other people. But the kind of open I want to talk to you about is, I want to invite you, the next time you go into a collaboration, to get there a few minutes early, to sit in your car, to take your hands and put them in front of your heart and pull it open so that you can actually feel the resistance in the muscles in your hands of that part of you that doesn't want to pull itself open, and create a space inside of yourself that's open for the mystery. That's not about your agendas or your ideas or your plan or your hopes for how this meeting will go, but it's just a wide open space to leave room for the energy of others to show up and move inside of you and start to create something that you never could have thought of on your own. And the second word that you will hear a lot in this song is the word widen. And I also invite you the next time you're heading into a meeting in the world, or even with all these interesting, funky folks inside of here, I invite you to think about a broader interpretation of what it might mean to find connection points with these people. A broader interpretation of what it might mean. So that if you think of a typical meeting that you go into, there's kind of like those 3 minutes of everybody talking nice with each other, how's your son, and how's the football game, and then now let's do the work that we came here to do. But what would happen if you entered into a meeting and your whole stance was, can I just behold whoever it is that I'm about to connect with? Can I just really see them? And imagine that there might be ways that we could connect with each other that we're not even capable of understanding if I just enter in a wide open and broadened way. And finally, a word that you will hear a lot in this song is the word fly. And of course, anybody that's working on being collaborative is hoping for liftoff, is hoping for that moment or that experience when it's suddenly like, geez, none of our feet are even on the ground. We're doing something, we're connected, something incredible has happened. So you'll hear that song in here, and you'll hear that word in this song, and I guess what I'd like to invite you to think about the next time you enter into a collaboration is not just showing up and thinking, I really hope we get liftoff, but instead to think to yourself, it is my intention to be part of the liftoff that I know is possible. So it's not, I'm going to run the whole thing, I'm going to make sure everybody lifts off. And it's also not, well, there's a president, I'll just abdicate it to the president, they'll figure out how to get liftoff. It's, I'm going to be part of it. I have to show up all the way, and so does everybody else, and that's where liftoff comes from. So I'm going to close out tonight and my portion by sharing this song with you. So I'll say a couple of closing words before I do, and that is, I really do think that one of the cool things about Marie is that she figured out a way to be so broadened that she's here talking to you tonight, that these are really her words, that her presence has transcended time and space, and wherever she is right now, we're here getting to hear the words that she and I put together that came from her experience. And I would also like to invite all of you to remember the secret that there is deep inside of you as your birthright, a place within you that's designed to open up, designed to release the best of who you are, and designed to receive other energies from other people in a way that is breathtaking. You do have a deep, bright secret, and it doesn't have to remain a secret. So this song is called The Days of Your Opening. These are the days of your opening. These are the days of your opening. Farther and wilder and deeper and wider and over and over and over and over. 'Cause these are the days of your opening. These are the days of your opening. Farther and wilder and deeper and wider, past all of the aching parts deep down inside you, and widen who you are to encompass all the pain. Widen who you are to hold that little one again. Widen past the borders to the brilliance of the sky. Widen to the window and then stand up and fly, fly, fly. These are the days of your opening. These are the days of your opening. Burn it and clean it and break it and feel it and watch yourself falling and feeling and meaning it. Widen who you are to see the love that surrounds you. Widen who you are until the love in you astounds you. Open to the sweetness of the feeling all around you. Drop into the depth of it wide open and then fly, fly, fly. Speak from where you are, and you can